Hey everyone, today I wanted to show you what I'm working on at CapSign. So we're going to do a demo, and in this demo, I'm going to be showing you the CapSign platform, and we're going to be tokenizing the capital stock of CapSign Inc., which is, of course, the company building this platform. And so this is going to be an exciting demo for everyone to see. And it's a pre-release demo. So everything here is still in beta and being tested. However, uh, we would like to start working with companies who are interested in this product. What this demo is going to show you is what the capabilities of this platform are. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're in this platform on the tokenization page, and this is from the perspective of a private company, so an issuer of an equity security. Let's go ahead and create a new token. We can see that we have a couple of options for what assets we want to tokenize. Well, there was a safe option. I actually took that off because we're focusing on capital stock for now. So if we select that, the default share class, as you can see here, is going to be the common share class. And we're going to go through creating additional share classes as well. But before we go there, notice that we have the issuer name. This is captured during the onboarding flow. And we also have a unique ID that's generated for each tokenized asset. So let's go ahead and create this token, which involves signing the transaction with a wallet, a digital currency wallet. And we also are integrating with a custody provider so that the actual signing doesn't have to happen in the browser like we just saw with MetaMask, but instead we can involve other flows for better security based on an MPC architecture, and perhaps down the line, a hardware security module for institutions requiring higher security or higher levels of security. So, boom, we already created this token for capital stock. Now, we created a token, but we don't have a supply of any of the shares. Now, let's go ahead and create a share class, and then we'll tokenize some existing issuances of this asset type. So with our share class tokenization, we can do common and preferred shares. Those are the two stock classifications, but each share of preferred stock might have different rights and privileges, and even different types of common stock can exist, such as common class A, B, C, and so on. So the way that we assign these rights and privileges to the token is through a metadata URI, or basically a file that is off-chain. But for anyone reviewing a transaction on-chain involving a particular tokenized security, they'll be able to access this data, and that will help inform the investment decision. So we can essentially assign a metadata URI, and we'll also be able to add these attributes to the share class within the UI in the future. But for now, we're just going to say, pointing to this file here, and add the share class to the token. And there we have it, our common shares. So now if we go back to the token, we notice that it's paused. So this means that if you try to transfer the token, it'll fail. We can unpause it because we're going to demo a transfer. And we also have a OCF file that we can import. An OCF file is a common data format. It's called the OpenCap format, and this is a data standard created by the OpenCap Table Coalition. So we're going to look at their website here, And this coalition is made up of a variety of members, including AngelList, Carta, law firms like Wilson Sonsini, Morgan Stanley, NASDAQ Private Markets, other members as well, including Mercury. I see they recently updated their website. CapSign should also be on this website, soon. We paid our membership dues and we're kind of waiting for the official confirmation to make that announcement. So we'll be in good company here. I'm very excited for it. But again, what this file does is it captures the cap table information for companies, which are to be utilized within CapSign as basically what we call in engineering a first-class citizen, where we write to this file and then we read from this file. And this file can basically exist inside Carta, and we can access Carta to update this file as transactions are being made on CapSign. So this is a feature that's still in development, very, very high potential. And so we created the share class. Right now, 0 shares still issued. We're going to do an issuance right now. But there's just other information to cover, basically who is the owner. That would be the public address of CapSign, token address. We even assign a specific type of on-chain identity to all users of the platform and to the token itself. We are working on a compliance module system where basically you can add all these different modules that restrict how your token trades in the marketplace, giving issuers complete control over how it trades and gives assurances that the token transfers in the secondary market will abide by these rules. So it's automated compliance. And you can imagine that if, as an issuer, you mandate that all secondary transactions have to go through this platform, you will be assured that it'll abide by your defined compliance policies, which will conform to the shareholder agreement, company bylaws, and even individual purchase agreement terms. So that's also a highly exciting aspect to the platform. We have this identity registry. So essentially, this allows issuers to define what users on-chain can hold this token. So essentially, the company will approve each holder in advance, unless they have a policy where it's more open. And also, you can define what smart contracts can hold the token itself as well. So we are going to register a smart contract. This is the marketplace smart contract, which we're going to see in just a moment, right? So there we go, registered. Next, we need to register a user. Now, we need to register the company itself, because what we're going to do is we are going to do a issuance of stock to the company, and basically this will be like treasury stock. It's going to sit in our treasury, but for the demo, we're going to list it on the marketplace, and that'll give you a more full picture of what's going on. Two things we need. We need our identity contract address and wallet address of the company. So I'm going to go into our settings and get our identity address. But while I'm here, let me just show you some of the cool features. We've got a dark mode that is pretty nice for users who like dark mode. We have other things. You could set your time zone. We're working on some security features, a banking feature. We have a billing feature as well that goes on a 30-day cycle. An application marketplace. This is still highly in beta, but we're planning to do these integrations with Google Drive so that all of the documents that you sign on the platform will automatically sync to your cloud and you can access these files quite easily without losing them, and it'll all be secure. CapSign won't even have access to the rest of your files, just these files that are occurring when you make a transaction through CapSign. And that'll help you, stay in compliance with keeping your records in order. Palisade is a digital asset custodian who we've signed a commercial agreement with. So users of our platform can use a regulated digital asset custodian in order to secure the assets that they have on the platform, such as tokenized cash, tokenized, securities, etc. And then Carta. So this is very much in flight, but we want to be able to connect with Carta, be able to synchronize the cap table information with the platform. So this is all coming. And then lastly, we have an API where you can create an OAuth client. You have all these different scopes. You can create your application for OAuth and a personal access token for each account. So going back to our token, we want to register our corporate identity. And so that's our identity address, and then our wallet address is this one. So we're going to register that. Okay, there we are. And if we go into this user entry, we can see what our current balance is and kind of get a history of issuances. So essentially, what CapSign is it isn't necessarily the system of record for your cap table. It can be that, but what it really is, at least in this stage, is the ability to connect with your system of record and to mint or burn particular issuances of securities so that they can transact on-chain on a ledger that is shared. And this creates a market clearing price. It creates greater transparency. And of course, there's all sorts of configurations for how you want to enable these transactions, including privacy options. But we think that generally we want to keep volume and pricing data public to the extent that's possible in order to create the most transparent platform for private market transactions. And again, with the compliance modules, you can set particular settings for your token, such as a minimum price that it can trade at in order to maintain a price floor. So you get all these great configurations. We are going to tokenize common shares. And so for the security ID, the concept here is that if we have the security issued in Carta, we would copy over the security ID of that issuance here so that we could correlate it with our on-chain issuance. And then, so this is optional actually, because the on-chain issuance will generate a on-chain security ID. And so, I mean, we could, add a test ID here if we want to. And we'll just say 10,000, 100,000, a million shares, right? Let's mint it. Okay, so successfully minted, our balance has increased. And if we go into our portfolio, we see 1 million shares. Now, if we click into it, we'll see the marketplace. This is where we can list shares for sale. So actually, you could imagine a corporation can authorize the issuance of shares to itself so that it can do some fundraising. So in this case, let's say the company had a valuation and they wanted to list some shares of common stock within the marketplace. That would happen here. If we actually go back to the user here, in our mint history, we see the block that it was issued at and the quantity and the generated security ID. So this part is quite important. if we go back to the market, we need to list the particular security ID that we want to issue or list on the marketplace. And from there, we list the security ID. This is for compliance reasons. And we can list a number of shares. It doesn't have to be the full 1 million amount that we minted. So we're just going to say 500,000 and list it at $10 per share. So investors could purchase this block and they would essentially pay the transaction value here, including any transaction fees, which, by the way, again, this is a demo and isn't necessarily how the platform may be configured going forward. We have an issue, so I'm going to, let's try that again. Okay, good. So we have to create the approval to transfer the security tokens, and then we confirm it. And it says listing of 500,000 shares at $10 placed successfully. We can see here it is, where the seller has a listing ID, quantity of shares, price, total, transfer type, share type, and bids. So if we were a buyer, we could go here and place a bid on that. Again, everything here is on the blockchain network or on the chain that wherever this platform is deployed, which right now we're going to be deploying on Base for a time. We're also working on our own blockchain platform. So if we go back to our portfolio, we can see that our listing is now active, and this would allow investors to place bids. Now, ideally, investors would place bids at $10 per share. And what I want to show you is the bidding process, the acceptance of the bid, and then the settlement done by the company of that transaction. And then we'll see the movement of the security tokens into the investor's account. We'll see the movement of the tokenized dollars into the company's account. Okay, so now what I've done is I've created a new account, and this time we're logged in as an investor, and we are going to register. Hopefully you can see the screen. I think I'm sharing the window, so, but I don't know. Anyway, switching back to this tab, because what we need to do is register the user with our token so that they can hold it. So we go to register user and we add their identity address and then their wallet address, which this whole process will be made easier down the line. And we'll make it more abstracted. But anyway, this is showing you the bare bones. So we have now Epic Ventures registered to hold the token, essentially. So if we go back and we go to our portfolio, now we can see the market. So we go into that and we can place a bid, $10. And this is a $5 million investment. So it's going to throw an error if we're not subscribed. So we're going to go ahead and subscribe to this plan. All right, so done. Back to the market, place our bid. Okay, placed successfully. So we could see that the bid was added, and we can go back to our other account here. And if we go to our portfolio, we can see the bid. Here's the information. We're going to accept the bid. And essentially, when you place a bid, it places the bid amount into a smart contract escrow. So after we accept it, it's still in an escrow. It's actually pending settlement. So the issuing company has to settle the transaction, and that's what we're going to do now. So if we go into the transfers tab, which by the way, still under development pretty heavily, but we can see a couple different events here for when the listing was created. And now we have a pending event, which we need to settle. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And settlement successful. So what we saw here in the marketplace, we saw it update. The listing is no longer in the table. We see our bid was accepted. We see our share balance increased by 500,000. And I think if we just refresh the page, yeah, we see that the US dollar balance went to 0. So transaction successful. And on this end, I think we just refresh the page. And yeah, so we see $5 million in the US dollar account. And if we go to our portfolio, we see our million shares is now 500,000 activity. We see we sold that listing. And one more thing, in this flow, there needs to be a purchase agreement and other documentation required for this deal to go through. So that is actually in the works. That'll be the next feature. So then we'll have this end-to-end blockchain-based platform for private placement security transactions. That's it for the demo. I hope that was informative, and I hope that gives you an idea of what we're looking to accomplish and what we're going to be doing going forward as a platform as we approach going to market, which we still have quite a bit of work to do. But if you're interested in following along, I suggest following our LinkedIn page, and we'll be posting updates there. Thank you.